alaikum and welcome to a new edition of Dr. Nutrition. Today we're going to talk about a topic that was asked of us, which is the nutritional requirement of sheep camel. And before we answer this question, please check out my previous video on the differences between the sheep camel operations and the cow milking operations. So first of all, let's take it one by one. So in terms of energy, for the energy that you need for 1 liter of milk from camel or sheep camel, you need about 10 megajoules of metabolizable energy. However, for the cow, it's a little bit different. For the cow, we need roughly about 6 megajoules of energy for 1 liter of cow milk. So you see the differences between the energy requirement of both animals. So that's number one. Number two, each 1 kilogram of TMR that you give, dry matter TMR, that you give to the cow, you can expect close to 2 kilograms of milk. For the sheep camel, on the other hand side, from 1 kilogram of dry matter TMR, you can expect less than 1 liter of milk. It is like 0.75 liter of milk. So you see the difference. I really would hope that researchers or even governmental entities that care about development of the camel breeds we have here in the region. Quite recently, 2 years ago, I seen a paper done by China, which they looked into what are the genes that are responsible for milk production camel, but what is the genes that are associated there? We know so many genes. We know about 300 genes in the cow milk production that are responsible for certain production parameters in the cow, whether it's cow milk protein or cow milk fat. So some of those examples I will give you guys. So for example, CSN2, which is responsible for the casein, the B-casein protein synthesis. Another one of those examples, the PPARG, which is responsible for lipid metabolism, which in another way of saying it's responsible for milk fat synthesis. Another one of those examples is called FAPP3, which is again linked to a fat metabolism. That's more into the cow. However, when we go to the camels, some of those genes in the camels, we now know about their major involvement in the milk production. Some are the same as in cows, and some are also unique for the camels. Let's say, they give you some example for those. So, for example, the CSN2, for example, which again the same way is in in cows, is the same way is in camel as well, is responsible for the production of or synthesis of casein. Another one of those genes is called NR4A1, which is responsible for the lipid metabolism or have a role in the lipid metabolism. Another one called ADCY8. It's called ADCY8, which is more involved, and the more of the research that has been done on this gene that can have regulation on the lactation cycle for the sheep camel. And that's why I like to read more about those kind of things and field, because I think this is a field that we need to focus on in order to develop more and more of the camel milk production. Having said that, there is also fundamental differences in the crude protein requirement and also the mineral requirement. I know the video will not be too long to explain everything, but to give you an example, the protein requirement of the dairy cow is higher than the sheep camel. The amino acid requirement of the cow is also higher than the amino acid requirement. In most of the amino acids, only 2 amino acids are required higherly by the camel, the sheep camel, than the cow. But again, the difference is in the quantity. Yeah, no, for sure, the quantity for milk production for cows is higher than the camel. Also mineral requirement like the potassium, for example, the magnesium, also certain other micro elements like the selenium, for example, but this is related to mostly the needs of the she camel. The metabolic needs of the she camel from the selenium is higher than that of the requirement of the cow from maintenance standpoint, let alone the production. So I hope this video was informative, and thank you guys so much for asking this question, and please ask more questions that you need, and thank you so much for listening.